Alright, new atheists. There's a couple things you're going to need to figure out. And you might find that it's hard to be forced to speak up for it. One is, so how do you know things? Because traditionally it's a bit by the grace of God. Like even that famous Descartes dude. That famous Descartes dude, he clawed his way out of total skepticism because all he had was that he existed. That didn't seem like enough with God. God is the basis of, traditionally, of Western knowledge. When they get down to the axioms, and they might say, here's some self-evident axioms. Well, how could that be? God put them in there. All right, and then there's no God, and people, like certain people, are all, well, they're still self-evident by some other reason. No, they're all abstracted. Things like, the law of the excluded middle. All of this is from our experiences of consistent objects. You put a stone on a table, and it'll still be there unless somebody moves it. This kind of materialism. We abstract the rules from those patterns. There's just ways of talking about those patterns, and so they're from the world still, and they can have error because of this process that they're abstracted from the world with. So you're going to want to know, how can you know something? And you're not going to want to say it's because there's logical axioms and I can make inferences with declarative statements. That's not complete. That's not the whole human experience. You know a lot of things that you do not justify like that at all. It's just a story of, wouldn't it be nice if you justified everything that way? Let's pretend we do and take credit for it. No. But lucky for you, there's a very simple answer to how you know things. And it's called seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. It's that simple. Seeing is believing. That's how you know things. But you don't know them perfectly that way. You don't need to. You don't need to. You have a gradient based on how much evidence, how much seeing evidence, reproducible, trustworthy evidence. If you trust a secondary source, it's because you're saying, well, they saw, and by extension, I'm accepting that. There might be increased error in making those kinds of judgments from the interpretation of what you read and your misjudgment possibly of the person's character. Seeing is believing. That's why we believe in the law of the excluded middle in special cases. It's because we've seen that it works. A thing either is or isn't in certain categories. The Eiffel Tower either is in France or it isn't in France. It works in a lot of cases. That's its justification. You don't get to be an idealist anymore if you're taking your atheism to be giving up all magical thinking, all dogmatism and magical thinking. Then suddenly you're going to have to be a little bit naturalist, and you're going to be a positivist of some sort. You don't have to become what you might think of as a skeptic, though I think you'll come to realize that the skeptics are simply the logicians of this sort of thinking. We deal with the technical logic of this kind of approach to life where seeing is believing. All right? Demonstrated to me, and I might call that a really good demonstration of proof.